Have you ever stopped and thought about what it truly cost Jesus to save us? Sometimes we overlook the depth of His suffering, but understanding that suffering can transform how we live our lives today. The Bible says in Revelation chapter 5 and verse 10, "You made them a kingdom of priests to our God, and they will reign on earth." Wow, Jesus didn't just say, "I'll save them," He acted on it. When He chose to drink the cup of salvation, it wasn't an easy task. That cup wasn't filled with joy, it was filled with bitterness, pain, and sorrow. Every drop of it was soaked with suffering. There were groans, tears, and anguish, yet Jesus drank it all, down to the very last drop. Imagine Him in the Garden of Gethsemane as He prayed. His sweat became like drops of blood. The pain was so intense it felt like poison coursing through His veins. Every nerve in His body twisted in agony. His heart was heavy with the weight of what was to come, the wrath of God's justice against sin. No human could ever fully explain the torment He endured that night. Even hell itself cannot compare to what Jesus experienced in Gethsemane. Picture Him there, bowed down in prayer, taking on the full weight of our sin. It was as if He stood between two grinding stones, God's righteous judgment and the sin of humanity, until His very soul was crushed. That night, the God-man wrestled with agony beyond anything we can imagine. From the garden, He walked to the cross. There He hung for hours under the scorching sun. His body was pierced, His blood poured out, and His Father's wrath passed over Him. Even in His dying moments, His lips were dry, but they gave Him vinegar to drink. Yet, in the midst of this unimaginable suffering, He cried out with victory, "It is finished." Here's our life application point for today. When you think about Jesus' suffering, let it humble you. Everything we are, our hope, our future, our identity as part of God's kingdom is because of what He endured for us. As priests and kings in His service, live each day in gratitude, dedicating your life to the one who paid it all. Bow down before the cross and declare, "Lord, apart from You, life is meaningless. You are my all and all."